Man, you muted.
I'm muted. Great, I'm muted. How the hell I'm muted? What the hell? Okay, technical difficulties aside. What's up, everybody? Happy New Year.
Yeah.
We back. So I do apologize for the late start, but we kind of had some issues, some of which due to people getting sick.
It happens.
Now, everybody's doing all right. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Yeah, doing all right.
Interesting week.
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks. So today's episode is a special episode. We're not on our episode 89 yet. We are doing our 2021 best of, worst of, and what we think 2022 will bring. So, I got a list of stuff here. Trying to go up. And where do I got it set up? Okay, so we're starting off with your best game of 2021 that you have played. So, first up is Nintendo. So I'm gonna start with Sandstorm. What you got? Your best of for Nintendo 2021.
Man, I think I put this on Twitter today, and I really wanted to say it was Metroid because I love Metroid. I put in a good amount of time in it. It was a great game. It definitely was a great game that I didn't know about until this year. But I'm now 95 hours into Shin Megami Tensei 5, and that game is terrific, man. Like just playing it more and more, I'm like, I can't break myself away to go to work, to make music, to enjoy life. So right now it's Shin Megami Tensei 5, man.
Shin Megami Tensei.
I don't know if that's just because I've been playing it lately. I can't really balance it out, but that's where my heart is going.
All right. Well, I can see that because like 2021 was a very stacked year. When you think about it, it was, especially on the Nintendo side, they had a lot of stuff drop in 2021 that I don't think a lot of people realize, to be honest. So for me personally, and I was going back and forth because there is a lot of stuff. There's like Bravely Default 2 at the first beginning of the year. There was the Monster Hunter games, and Metroid. Y'all know I'm a Metroid head, but I'm gonna say one that I meant to say and I just didn't. No More Heroes 3.
Oh yeah.
No More Heroes 3 is my personal favorite Nintendo game that came out last year. Anytime Travis Touchdown shows up, you know it's going to be wild, crazy, and somewhat stupid. But the game hits on so many levels for me. It just hits.
I agree. That was tough. Yeah, I definitely. No More Heroes 3 is just that ending. The whole game really. I don't even know how to explain. You have to play it. Like it's not even. The shout out to Smash Brothers at the end. Like I just
that part caught me off guard. That part caught me off guard.
And then there was a prologue after the credits too. That's just insane. Like he could make an entire universe off of that character and all the other characters therein. And it will work just fine in just about any genre, I believe, because those characters are just insane. Yeah, I really, really had a good time with that game. The only reason I won't consider it as part of Game of the Year is because of how well made Bravely Default 2 is, and how well made Monster Hunter Rise is. However, this tall girl had a game come out, and bruh, once you 100% the game and you tell yourself to take the cartridge out of the system because you don't want to play it again, which I don't know why I did that, because it just had me running back to my other game of the year, which was Streets Race 4 from last year. But no, Metroid Dread is from start to finish. The whole the whole hilarity with the what is now known as the
David Jaffe room.
the David Jaffe room. That is that whole game, the shade about it, the playing through the game, and it knows how you're going to play too. So like it's just like, hey, this is an old head. What are they going to do? They're going to try to bomb jump here. They're going to try to screw attack cancel here. They're going to try to wall jump cancel here, and there's stuff there for you. And it's just like, hey, you smart ass. You got here way before you're supposed to. This is an unknown piece of equipment. Walk around with this unknown piece of equipment until we decide we explain what it is to you. And that's just amazing, man. They thought everything through. I really think there's a high level of polish in that game, and down to the details and the backgrounds as well. Like there's entire YouTube channels dedicated to showing all the little things, all the little nooks and crannies of things that happen in the background while you're playing Metroid Dread. It is amazing. Like the things that creatures in the background react to that Samus does or another character does in the foreground is crazy. They react to light. They react to her shooting or during the scenes where the environment changes because you turn on something or whatever, or there's lava flow or something. All that stuff happens in the background. I'm like, how did y'all have time to do all this? Like y'all had to plan all the rooms first, make sure that the plan of progress was good, and plan the progress for multiple people playing in different ways and all that stuff. Get the physics in line since it's not animated anymore. So now you got to deal with whatever physics engine they're using. I'm pretty sure it's Havoc, but whatever physics engine that you're using to interact with it, all that stuff had to be planned and tested multiple times. And somehow, and then the amazing cutscene where Samus just rages like you don't get any better than that, man. And it's Samus returning in 2D, and they made it work, and they made it way better than we thought it was going to be. Just stellar,
this,
man.
I will say this about Metroid Dread. For all those people who complained about Prime, there are callbacks to every Prime game in that freaking game.
Yes.
So I feel for you if you did not play Prime and you didn't enjoy it, because the Prime series ain't going nowhere.
Nope.
I'm just gonna tell y'all that it's not going anywhere.
Definitely not now, since Retro is redoing all of it now, so it's not going nowhere now.
Thank God. But yeah, I love Metroid Dread. It's just one of those things where I was like, you know what, I love it.
Give it to Travis.
Yeah, I gotta give Travis some love, man, because Travis, to be honest, Travis should have been in Smash officially, not new costume officially. And hashtag Ravenbeak for the next Smash.
Okay.
Hashtag Ravenbeak, hashtag Demise for the next Smash.
That lore as well. The Ravenbeak lore. Right. Yeah, that game is just solid, man. I'm sorry.
So because I gotta get with Rob so we could do a podcast about freaking Chozo. But I can understand why that would be game of the year for a lot of reasons. Especially because of the shade that Nintendo started throwing at Jaffe because he opened his mouth and exposed himself. And they did that joke on they did that joke twice. That's how they got that man twice. I was like,
I don't know, they ain't playing around.
Like, bro, they're like, okay, so you'll call this bad game design. All right, bro. All right. Don't worry, we got something for you, bro. Hey, we gonna drop that demo. Yeah, why are we dropping the demo late? Don't worry about that. We got a video to go with it.
Video and a demo.
I'm like, jeez, dude. Y'all have to do that, man, like that. I thought it was hilarious. I still laugh about it. All right.
It was so blatant, though, because it tells you during the intro what to do. And I'm like, why are they telling me this? I play Metroid. I know this. And then right after that, he makes a video. And I'm like, whoa.
That's why.
Wait, what?
That's why. But see, and I told y'all this. I told y'all this when back during the Wii U, when everybody was claiming they wanted a Metroid. I'm like, half y'all ain't play Metroid.
Yep.
I promise y'all ain't play Metroid.
It's obvious now.
And it's obvious now. I'm like, because all the people that was complaining, I'm like, y'all ain't never played a Metroid game, and it shows.
Right.
I'm like, what y'all gonna do when Prime 4 drop?
Yeah, because now you're in 3D space and you don't know what wall is a real wall and what.
So, and that same stuff is in there. That's why the one game I hope, the one room I hope ain't true is the remake of the first Metroid Prime game. Because I'm like, that thing needs quality of life changes. That because ain't nobody trying to do what we had to do back in 2002. They're not gonna walk through everything.
They did them a little bit in the
trilogy,
collection,
but they didn't. No, not that first one. That first one, nobody's doing now. If they want to do corruption, yeah, do that one because that one's way better from a overall standpoint. But like that first one, where you had to do all that, you had to literally walk back to everything. Now ain't nobody trying to do all that.
It was great to me though because you got to see the environment twice,
Yeah.
and you got to scan stuff. So it's like,
I mean, but we talking about people that don't play this stuff, man. We talking about people that don't play this like that. Yeah,
too long didn't play.
Too long, yeah. It's like they. So next up, Sony.
Man, Sony, I'm going to be really guilty on these because a lot of these I haven't gotten to yet because I've been playing some of the older stuff now. Just running through, just making sure I'm 100% and stuff from previously. So, and you saw like Terminator Juice, some other people, they going through all the Uncharted right now. I just went through Horizon again. Be doing God of War in a little bit. Like it's just other than Resident Evil 8, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is third party stuff that we got like Persona 5.
I mean, you can say that. I mean, you could. They didn't really have a lot of first party stuff come out. So
yeah, but I really want to get in. I want to give enough time. I want to give probably about 40 hours to Kingdom Bridge of Spirits. I do want to try that because I want to see exactly where that goes. Everything that I've seen of Ratchet and Clank is just Ratchet.
It's what it's supposed to be. It's what you think it is.
Yeah, and so that's kind of. So I owe time to myself before I do my own personal game delivery. So obviously it's going to extend out to probably like March or so. But I'm going to owe time to myself because I believe I need to play Returnal and Kingdom Bridge of Spirits before I crown a true king with that. But for me, I mean obviously from what I played, it's going to be Persona. I don't really have another honest take on that. And Resident Evil 8 to me was more of 7. So
yeah, it's more the same. All right, say so. What about you?
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of floating in the same boat as Shadow. Sony had a really quiet year for me, so it wasn't like I really needed to dash out and pick up anything. The only thing that I really got, and it really wasn't for me, was actually Far Cry 6. And that was basically Far Cry 5, which was 4, which was 3, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I mean, really the only thing out there really was the DLC for why do I always forget the name? What's my samurai game?
Ghost of Tsushima? Yeah. That was good. That was good content.
Yeah. But like outside of that, there wasn't really anything that was just kind of standing out that I felt like I needed to grab like right then and there. There wasn't like a Halo equivalent or anything like that. So, but there are games out there. Like I still haven't touched Spider-Man. I know that was last year. I still haven't even touched that, but that was glorified DLC for me, and not even like in Majora's Mask sense, you know. So, definitely want to touch that. Kenna, like you said, I hear a lot of good stuff about that. But other than that, yeah, it's just.
I mean, I guess they get credit the same way Xbox gets credit because Tales of Arise.
Yeah.
So, as an honorable mention.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was East 9 Monsters from Nox. I love the E series, so that game was actually pretty fun. It's out on Nintendo and PC as well now, but it came out on PlayStation 4 early. It's February of last year, and that game is a lot of fun. Although while I don't think it's better than 8, I still think it's a very fun game. Fun to pick up, big world. You spend a lot of time in it. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I do understand because there is a lot of, as far as first party support from PlayStation and even Microsoft as well. It was a real slow year.
Very slow year.
Most of their stuff is on is via the third party. To be honest, hopefully this year will be better for them, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. So, Microsoft. All right, best of Microsoft. I'm just gonna go and say it right now. My game of the year for Microsoft is Halo Infinite. Even though Halo does have its issues, it's still a lot of fun. Most of that campaign, I haven't finished the campaign yet, but that campaign is fun. That campaign is a whole lot of fun. Multiplayer is fun as well. Although I will say, like the first few weeks with all the multiple crashes and stuff like that, it was a bit of a problem. But they have fixed the majority of. They do work on their issues, so that's a good thing. So I don't see people having too many issues with on that front. But for me, it's going to be Halo Infinite. In
Okay.
all fairness. All right, Shadow.
So I'm not. I guess my problem is I have to turn on my Xbox without playing Killer Instinct. But there's the honorable mention. There were a lot of issues early on, but they kind of polished a lot of that stuff up after the fact. But then the complaints were already there, so they kind of couldn't really grab the audience like they should have to have a continual living world. And that's Outriders. I just wanted them to be an honorable mention for that. We did try to get together, I think, and play that at one point, but it just didn't. It didn't pan out.
Yeah.
But I ran through that. My son ran through it multiple times. He was pretty high up in it. And he enjoyed it. So I just kind of like, because that game had several issues, but the thing that they were trying to do, it made sense. It made sense. Like, hey, yeah, we should probably do this and stretch this out, and then people would like it, way better than something like Destiny or what have you. It made all the sense in the world for them to attempt to do that. It just it launched early and they rushed it to market, and it probably should have had a little bit more polish before they were able to do what they were able to need to do. But personally, obviously, it's gonna be Halo Infinite. The multiplayer alone, just running through the multiplayer, I'm just like, Jesus. And I played 3 different ways. I played with the default control scheme, which was the old Reach control scheme, believe it or not. I tried the Halo 4 control scheme, and I tried the default Halo 3 control scheme. And to be honest with you, all 3 of them have their uses depending on what your loadout is going to be. So I've found myself being able, initially I was struggling trying to play with the old Halo Reach control scheme. But then I found a use for it later after I switched to the default Halo 3 control scheme. And I'm like, hey, but if I have this loadout, I'll be able to do these things or what have you. So it's crazy how they thought of it as far as controls versus and how people are going to use them. How that worked out as far as like, hey, if you're a person that wants to spam the grapple, we have this custom control scheme for you. If you're a dasher, if you basically you're going to play Griff Ball all the time, even if it's not Griff Ball, because you just have the gravity hammer running around, or you have the sword running around smacking people. There's a control scheme for you. There's a specific control scheme just for that, and I think that leaving all that in, and for those different play styles, I think that adjusts accordingly. And I have more fun with the game, experimenting with all of them. So definitely, I think that's probably overall by default, it is a better multiplayer experience than Halo 5 already. So that just, to me alone, that just means that that's clearly going to be one of the games. I have to spend probably another 2 hours on the campaign before I can even comment on it. So it is currently installed. I just have to run through the opening area, I guess, before I get to where everything opens up, and then go from there. But so far so good. Even off multiplayer alone, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. And I think that if you are whether you have Game Pass or not, whether you even have an Xbox or not, you should probably download Halo Infinite and then just run through it. That's clearly, well, I can't say it's clearly the best game they've had this year because, Forza. Oh my God, Forza. And I really like the original Psychonauts, and I've got to play Psychonauts 2 before I can give my opinion on it. But if it's, from what I'm hearing, if it's at least as good as the original Psychonauts, that's probably up there too. And I think overall game of the year, it should be in that conversation as well, if that's the case. So, clearly my top three would be Forza 5, Halo Infinite, and Psychonauts 2 for that reason. Everything else, not really sure. Honorable mention, maybe the Tales of Arise.
Okay. All right, Sandstorm.
I kind of got to slide in with you guys as Halo being the best. Honorable mention, like Shadow said, you've got Outriders, which is a really good game. I'm throwing another one in there, even though I play it for PC. I mean, Xbox PC, close enough.
They don't care anymore now. Just playing with something.
Doom 2, or Doom 2, Diablo 2, Resurrection. That game was, even though Activision and Blizzard are having a real tough time, that game was very carefully handcrafted to cater to both of us old heads as well as new. And there's some small things that I didn't like about the game that weren't an issue that made it an issue in the new game, but overall the legacy of the game is actually still intact. And that was a game before, in the old one, I crunched in so many hours. So the fact that it's on honorable mention says a whole lot. Because I put in so many hours for this one as well. But Diablo, Halo, just I don't even have the single player, and I'm like stuck on the multiplayer.
Thanks, like it's good, it's so good, man. Like I've never been so mad. Like I think the last time I've been mad like that was probably, not counting Killer Instinct. It was probably, I can't even say.
I want to say it was my COD 2 days, like way back in the day.
Probably COD 2. You screaming at the screen, but you're having fun.
A whole bunch of, oh my gosh, not play. All right, one more.
Yep.
I'm killing you. Just you alone. That multiplayer is so good, man. And I'm happy that they came out with it when they did towards the winter time, where it's break time. You settle down a little bit. You get a little bit more focus on to be able to play your games and stuff like that. So, that right there, man.
I don't think it slows. I don't think the lobbies slow down this generation because the game's free. So
it's free to play. Yeah. And we ain't got everything. We haven't gotten everything either, because remember there's more stuff coming in February and March. So it's gonna be. I know people don't like that model, and I am not a fan of it. But in this case, I understand they had to get the game out. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and they had to I'm pretty sure they had to restart a lot of the game too, based on
because they lost some people. They lost some people like early in the. Remember, they lost the director and the writer.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got it when we got it. To be honest, I mean that's just keeping it real. That's keeping it a buck. So I have no problem with them, especially how good it is. Now it'd be different if the game was trash, but the game is good. So let them if they need to take their time a little bit more and to get some more stuff out. Although I'm one of those people that did like Halo 5. I really want Warzones back because I love Warzones.
You never know
too much. So yeah, I hope it comes back. I really do.
Now I'm not clowning Halo 5 campaign. Halo 5 campaign
was off the chain. Like the people that hate on it, I'm like, okay, y'all just don't like Spartan Luke Cage. But but I'm just like, bro, it's that campaign was actually good if you actually played all the way through it. Like some people, they didn't play all the way through it. They were just mad that they couldn't play the whole thing with Master Chief. Period. Man, and I'm like, dude, you had to play it to understand it. So
the last quarter of that game, man, and I think they kind of did I think they tried to do basically they did their version of Jump Up Superstar basically for Halo at the end of that game because everything ramps up and they start bringing in the classic themes like slowly but surely towards the end of the game, and you're just amped up and you have all the weapons and it's amazing. So
yeah, so all right, so now we're at our favorite part of the special, and that's the worst games of. And we're gonna stick with Xbox because my worst game is one that y'all actually like. I hated Outriders.
oh man,
God, I hated Outriders.
I wanted so much to love it. Like it clearly has had problems, but they did fix a lot. They addressed a lot of it though.
I will say this. Because me and Samson, we played a lot when it first opened, and he knows the problem I went through because I actually had to start over twice.
Yep.
Because two of my characters did not work.
Broken saves, corruption. Yep, yeah, there was a lot of that.
So I stopped playing for months. That's how mad I was. Because I was like, I shouldn't have bought it. I should have just played on Game Pass. But I did because I was like, this gonna be dope. I'm like, this gonna be dope. And all the problems I had with it. So that's my worst game of 2021, hands down. And Square Enix, we need to have a talk. Y'all wasting too much damn money.
And that it was a great idea on paper though. Yeah. Like it just
but the execution,
yeah.
Right now still ain't in Square, y'all still ain't fixed nobody hair. Y'all hair still floating.
I don't understand that. That's straight Mortal Kombat 11 on Switch undocked mode.
Yeah.
hair model, like what are we doing?
And the thing is, the Switch does it better because Sendel's hair actually looks better anyway.
Yep.
They had to work, and this ain't the only game that happened. It's Avengers. It's that one. I'm like, is the only game y'all can do hair right in is Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, because they make up the work here. That's why it works.
Jeez, but yeah, I Outriders. I couldn't stand Outriders. It pissed me off. But I am gonna, since I've already paid for it, of course, I am gonna try it again because everybody's been telling me like, hey man, give it another shot. You'll probably enjoy it. But I'm like, as far as 2021 is concerned, that's probably my worst game of 2021 overall was Outriders just from launch because of how that thing on.
We need to just stream it, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just try it because it got a lot. I played it recently. It's a lot.
Okay, all right. Well, all right. Shadow, what's your worst game from Xbox?
Man, I can't even really. I don't for anything that released this year. Like I don't.
Yeah. If you don't have one, that's fine.
I don't really have one because like what did I even download this year? I guess it technically would be Outriders technically because that's the only thing that released this year that I found issues with like that. Like yeah, I guess it would be that. But I still had fun with the game, so I don't know. I'm conflicted with it.
Yeah, well, if you don't have one, that's cool. That's cool. Sandstone, do you have one?
I'm kind of in the same boat. Like there's not really.
Yeah.
There's not really.
I mean, if you don't have that many games, then it's not.
Yeah, it's
I mean, like most of my games are focused towards another console. So
yeah,
because they had a good year. Like that's where my head went. But yeah, I have to agree. Like I don't think me personally. Yeah, I had all those problems. Man, did I have all those problems with Outriders, and I was the same way. I wouldn't touch it. But
I got an alibi though. Potentially, this could be the best game of the year for Xbox. The backwards compatibility update, because they went back, they reached into the bowels of the catalogs of games, and I'm just like, why do y'all have this agreement with Koei Tecmo? Why don't you have an agreement with these people and that people? They're just like, oh, Switch is getting all these games. Let's reach back. And so they went back and they're like, hey, you can play KOTOR now. You can play this now. Like they just said the whole catalog, like original Xbox, go.
Yeah, they did do that. Yeah.
So that to me, that will be a killer app for them this year. Like to be able to take any Xbox disc, stick it in there, and then it's like, hey, you have a license for this game now. So even if it doesn't run natively, you can download a copy of it from the Xbox store, and then you can run it that way. So
well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have one for Sony. I don't have a worst game for Sony. So just because there's a lot that I played that I thought was actually pretty good. The only game that I really wanted to play that I haven't got a chance to yet is Guilty Gear Strive. That one and Tales of Arise. And I know as a Tales fan, it's blasphemous, but there were a lot of stuff that dropped around the same time as Tales, and it wasn't getting bought. So
you need time for Tales though. That's a
and
combo
I need a
system.
lot of time for Tales because the Tales series, they do not keep the same fighting style from game to game. They change it, they tweak it in certain ways. Like, yeah, you may know the base of it, but that's about it. So I'm probably gonna wind up picking up Tales of Arise sometime in the next couple months, but I couldn't get it last year when I wanted to because I had No More Heroes, I had Skyward Sword, there was just too much that came out at the same time. So I don't really have a worst game for Sony this year, just because I just don't have one. So do y'all have one?
Yeah, not me personally. To be honest, well, I've had a couple of complaints, but I mean, it's still a really good game. It's just Sony overall. These games, they do these big sweeping games, and they miss the basics. It's like they design their engine around how big can this be, how much stuff can we throw on screen, how detailed can it be, but you can't go there. Like, why is it open world if I can't go there? Like, that's
it's not open world.
Yeah, facts. So that's just one of the things I saw in it only happened once in Ghost of Tsushima that I could tell, and some of that stuff is blocked because
riding through the bamboo trees. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, but it's really bad in Horizon. It's extremely bad. Like they're just like, no, you can't go here. Like there, sometimes it tells you, and sometimes it doesn't. You walk up to the wall, and it's just like, yep, I'm an invisible wall, dude. You. It looks like you can jump down here and fall if you want to, but I'm not letting you. And it's just, I'm like, I don't understand. But I could walk around it and still get to that same area another way. Like, why couldn't I just jump down? It's so frustrating to me, but it's obviously that's a game design choice that they decided to do, and I don't feel that immersed when you do stuff like that. That
Shadow. The only game design flaw that happened last year was in Metroid Dread.
Oh, clearly.
That was the only game design. That game is just horribly designed.
That's the only bad thing from Sony that I've experienced this year, to be honest with you. So as I've been going through and replaying stuff so I can get to playing the new stuff this year, I haven't really, and that's the other thing too, I'm not going to download a bad game just to shit on it and say it's a bad game. So
yeah, that's stupid. That's really stupid. So
yeah, not doing that.
Sanso, you got one?
Yeah, for me, ironically so, is Outriders. But I don't know. I don't know whether that's because I'm playing on PC and then played it on the PlayStation 4, or if it's just really that bad.
So you played on all three? You played on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
it was just a bad game overall, man. That launch was bad.
Yeah,
that was a real bad launch.
I can't even say that it's like, I can't be the dude, bro, and be like, well, it's the graphics. It's running at sub 30 frames and all this. I can't even be that because I play my PlayStation 2 all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that's nostalgia. But like, playing that game is not there. It ain't there. Somewhere else.
I was playing on the Series X, so the frame rate wasn't an issue. It's individual artwork, some delays of inputs, just random things happening that shouldn't happen as far as physics go. Because you're playing with a disruptor basically that does physical based attacks. Like if you're launching somebody over here or somewhere, it should react accordingly. And sometimes you don't get that. So just things like that, and then bullet trajectory too. I had a couple issues with that, but I feel like that's fixed once your level scales. Early on is hard because early on it has to be harder for you if you're lower level, and that's the difference between life and death. Like one misplaced shot, as you level is negligible, but early on it's rough. So I had a lot of problems with that, but as I start playing through the main campaign and playing online a couple of times, I mean, I didn't really have those issues anymore. But early on, it was real bad. So yeah, I definitely understand those. So could it be? I didn't play it on PlayStation. I played it on Xbox, but I guess it could be that too. It's Outriders for all three platforms while also being an honorable mention.
But see, that's the thing. I just think it was just. I honestly think it was just a bad launch because everybody says that it's patched up and fixed now.
I like the demo.
Yeah, the demo was fun. The demo is what sold me, but the launch, I'm like, how you go? Usually your demo lets you know what you in for.
Mm-hmm.
How your demo better than your release product at launch?
With the same areas though. With the same areas.
With the same areas. It didn't make any sense. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But okay, so now we're on to Nintendo. So Sandstorm, worst game for Nintendo for you?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna say, and with me saying this, I'm not saying that this was a bad game at all. I still had a lot of fun with it. It's just somebody had to go, and so we just kicked him off and we called it good. It's got to be Mario Golf, man. It's got to be Mario Golf. I had so much fun actually playing into the story mode until like a certain point, and then it just felt more tedious than it did actual fun. One thing, and I think maybe this is probably also the reason why I put it down there is because I remember the Wii days, like golfing, regardless if you were just swinging like this or if you was the person putting in the full motion, like that was the closest thing to actual golfing that you could do inside your house. And so, 2 generations later, when they say we have motion controls for Mario Golf, you know what I mean? Like, it's time. This is it. Here it is. And the motion controls were horrible. Like, I at that point, much rather press A for my powers. It just, and for the fact that it only worked for exhibition and not for the story on top of that just kind of killed my motivation too. So yeah, that's gonna have to be on the bottom.
I've heard that complaint from a lot because most of my people, the friends of mine that I know that play that game, they only play it for Golf Rush mode. They don't play it for. That's the only reason why they play it, and they're like it's a step backwards. And I'm like wow, because I wouldn't have thought that, but hey, I completely understand that. All right, Shadow, what about you?
This is gonna sound weird because I'm gonna say Nintendo got something wrong. Because I'm supposed to be the resident Nintendo fanboy, apparently. Between me and Baron, I don't know which one is supposed to be the biggest. Nintendo dudes with shades, go figure. But I did not like. I tried all 3 phases of the combat styles in Miitopia, and I did not like the progression of the combat and the leveling system. I did not like how you where you had to backtrack and go to certain areas to retrieve your quests. It just, I don't know. It's just something,
off, didn't it?
It's just a little off, and I'm like, this is a game that's supposed to be mega inclusive for everybody, and I don't see how the average Joe who is playing another like a Wii Fit game, and now you're like, this is my first RPG. I don't know how to get into that, and if I'm not into it, so that's probably going to be my one and only disappointment on Switch this year. And that doesn't mean that it's like a horrible game. It had way bigger potential than what it ended up being, and I think it failed at grabbing the everyman for a me game.
I think it's better on the 3DS.
Yeah,
honestly, I just think it's better on the 3DS. I don't know why, but like I said, it just feels off, and that's mine. Miitopia is one of mine, but the one that I'm going to talk about is World's End Club. And World's End Club is because I like that team because those are the guys that make the Danganronpa stuff. So I was going in expecting some like Lord of the Flies, Ill Killer anime stuff, and I kind of didn't get that. So I was kind of let down a little bit. But I think the main thing that got me was I couldn't enjoy myself with the story.
Mm.
For some, in those games, the story, enjoying the twists and turns of the story is what make those games work for me, because
Mhm.
it's like you're trying to figure out who did what and trying to put the pieces together. And I'm like, this was really like cookie cutter, and at points I was just straight up bored. So World's End Club is mine. I don't know why. I mean, they all can't be hits from that team. I
Yeah.
get it, but yeah, this one kind of caught me off guard, because I was like, yeah, I didn't really care for that one too much. I had to say I really didn't care for that one too much. Honorable. So that now we got the worst out of the way. I did want to do something just with honorable mentions period overall. And one of my honorable mentions overall that I think a lot of people should, especially if you are a fan of RPGs, is Ruin King, a League of Legends story.
I've been seeing this trending. So yeah. Yeah.
That game is available on everything. So and it was one of those games that was shadow released. I hate when they do that, but it because it was on my radar, because it was supposed to drop early last year, but it wound up dropping in I think it was October. Whenever they did that when Riot Forge and Nintendo did their little direct,
Mm-hmm.
it dropped that same day. If you know, it's by Airship Syndicate. Those are the guys that did Battle Chasers Night War and Darksiders Genesis. So you kind of have a pretty good idea of the gameplay. And I would say that it is a better combat system than what was in Battle Chasers Night War. Battle Chasers Night War, it's a fun game, but it has its issues. But this game, they really fixed that combat system. It's more akin to if I had to say, it's more akin to something like Grandia 2 or Child of Light
Mm-hmm.
in combat, and the story is actually really good. I actually liked it. I enjoyed it, and I don't play League of Legends like that, so I don't know all of the lore and all of that stuff. But I enjoyed that game. It's a very well told story, in my opinion. Now, I did hear some people complaining about a story aspect that they took with the Ruin King that they didn't like from a lore perspective because it kind of clashes. But I thought it worked
Yeah. But if you
for the game
play
they
the
were
main
telling.
series, then
Yeah.
yeah, it's not
Well,
gonna.
I thought it worked for the story they were telling. I'll leave it at that. I thought it worked for the story they were telling. It's an old school kind of RPG. It's only 40 hours. So
Okay.
it's not one of those 300-hour plus games. It's an old school 40-hour turn-based RPG. It has side quests. It has secrets to find, because I just found out that every character has a legendary weapon, and I did not know that on my first playthrough. So now I got to go back through it. So that's one of those that I'm gonna have to go back through and find everybody's legendary weapon. You can 100% the game without finding the legendary weapons though, because I did. But that's the only thing I didn't do. I didn't because I didn't know. I do have complaints about that, because I think they could have did a better job of letting you know about certain things and how you track your quests. Because one of my complaints about the game is, when you're tracking your sub quests or your side quests, it's hard to do because they should have had like a different color for the markers and stuff. They don't. So it's easy to get confused on, oh snap, I'm thinking I was going to do this side quest, but you're actually doing the main quest because the marker looks the same.
Mm.
So that's like one of my complaints about that. And they don't really have like I said, with the legendary stuff, I didn't even know about the legendary weapons, because you start the quest for it on each character at different points, and you just don't know unless you go talk to literally everybody. I wasn't gonna do all that. So I'm gonna find out who I'm supposed to talk to, and I'm gonna start it from there. But yeah, that was one of mine, is Ruin King. I think that's a game that I think if you're an RPG fan, I think you'll like it. Well, again, I have not played the League of Legends series, so I don't know everything lore wise, but for the story they were trying to tell, I liked it. So, do y'all
Okay.
have one?
That's a honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about Switch, is the whole library, because so much stuff came out this year, and I'm like, bro, like eShop cards, like I don't even want to spend this money. It's like, okay, for S and Gs, right? Ninja Gaiden collection came out.
Oh yeah.
So that came out, and it's like if you didn't have a Wii U or you didn't play, because Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge was an afterthought on 360 and PS3 or whatever, right? So it got a very limited release. I think it's probably going to be expensive for those copies now. So otherwise, the only premiere marketing it got was for Wii U because Nintendo published it.
Right.
So if you didn't play it on Wii U because it only sold like 13 million units or whatever, right? And I think that game sold less than 200,000 copies, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it sold best on the Wii U because
it did.
The 360 and the PS3 version did not work.
Correct.
So that's why they had to make Razor's Edge. Because they didn't work right. And then I think it sold, if I'm not mistaken, last time I looked, it sold more on the Wii U than it did for everything else. But they went and turned around like a year and a half later and put
Razor Edge on.
The Razor's Edge version on. So
I'm wondering, like, because that was limited, right? Even the Razor's Edge was limited. This is your first time really getting to jump into both, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden 2, and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. So you get to play the premium versions of all three of those games, and you can't really beat that for a bundle price. And it's like just something like that being there on a release calendar, and you can play it on Switch, so you can play it on the go or wherever. Like that's kind of amazing. Just the amount of games period that came out is just insane. Like Bravely Default to start the year, like come on, man, you can't. They just wanted to kill all your time. They're like, you will play Switch all year. We're gonna have you playing everything. And I'm just like, I like these other couple of games, but y'all keep the eShop just on swole, and they keep having stuff on sale. It hurts. It hurts my face. So
to be honest, I think it was because all those people talking about there wasn't nothing to play, and I'm like, it's February. What are you talking about?
Like didn't like 3 Pokemon games come out?
Yeah.
Because you had Snap and 2 other.
But remember there was nothing to play, and people were making videos about how there's nothing to play on. I'm like, it's the beginning of February. What do you got a whole 10 more months? Those videos didn't age well. So
nobody wanted to play Monster Hunter Rise because they wanted the campaign for it to be on their platform of choice.
Yeah. Even though it sold hella well, it's just now released for on PC, but it sold hella well. So
it's just so many games. Like, so I have Legend of Mana and Collection of Mana. Like, it's just so much stuff that came out during the year. Obviously, No More Heroes as the. Let me tell. I mean, that's your game of the year. That's my honorable mention, but it's only an honorable mention because it's going up against Metroid Dread.
Yeah,
literally, I would probably give it game of the year if it weren't for Metroid Dread.
And let's not forget Cruis'n Blast.
Oh yeah, we got Cruis'n Blast.
God, man, and
Monster Hunter Stories too.
Yep.
So I don't even have to play that on Switch because I played it so much in the arcades here.
I had to get on Switch. I can't. I need to beat people as a unicorn.
Right.
I have enough experience in that game to tell you, yes, no matter what vehicle you take, you will have fun playing that game.
Yeah. You can get a tank. Let that sink in. Let that sink in your mind. You can get a tank or a Triceratops. Let that sink in your mind.
Look, 2 Monster Hunter games came out for Switch this year.
Yeah, 2 of them, and both of them are fire. Both of them, and I gotta finish up Rise because I want to be ready for the other one when it drops next spring. So this spring. So
I don't know. Like the honorable mention is just the
entire
library because it was on 10 this year, man. It was like, we're sorry for 2021. We're sorry for 2020. Our bad. Here you go.
Yeah, it was real hard. Monster Hunter Stories too. They even dropped Dying Light, and that was like the year it came out. That was one of the games.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It didn't even come in our honorable mentions because there's so much stuff that we got this year.
And so we have all these people that are supposedly insiders and leakers and whatnot, and then it's like, nope, we're dropping this. Like, so y'all talk to these developers all the time. Y'all weren't tracking this, like,
right?
Meanwhile, our own personal leaker that don't really work for nobody is better at this than they are.
Right.
Shout out to Andre, the game idea guy.
Man. And he don't even leak. He's just like, I know if I talk about this, it's going to be announced. And it does. It's just,
because
it just works that way.
Which I've been trying to get him to do a video on a couple games that I want to see come back, Jade Empire. And
Killer Instinct 3.
Yeah. Just saying. So yeah, as soon as you get those, those.
Hey, you know what I put in honorable mention? I feel like it deserves its honorable mention. The expansion pass. I'm gonna put the expansion pass as an honorable mention because now I can kill fools online in Star Fox. How I feel like you ain't even gotta come over my house. I'll waste you at yours.
Yeah.
Apparently you'll be able to do it in GoldenEye too, the way things are going. We'll see.
Yeah, facts. So
hey, and that solidifies everything.
If they can get us Perfect Dark, if they can get us Perfect Dark and GoldenEye,
if they're gonna go through the trouble with GoldenEye, they're gonna do Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
It's gonna stop at Smash because when Smash comes out, that's when it's gonna start to be a problem because them old heads breaking the game. Nobody gonna play with them. Nobody gonna want to play with them.
Dude's gonna be doing the sex kick with Mario to lock the game out. It's like you sex kick over here, memory leak, and then the game is broken. That's just.
Why don't you move? Why don't you move? You can't. That's why. That's why.
But yeah, I agree for all the flack that the expansion pass got, and once again, and I've called this every time Nintendo do something, they get 30,000 videos of everybody hating and telling you're not gonna do it, and then I see 50,000 videos of people playing Paper Mario.
Facts. And then you just look and you're just like, Nintendo seems to be increasing the amount of subscribers.
But I thought it was horrible. I thought you weren't supposed. I thought we weren't supposed to do. And I told people from day one, they put Ocarina of Time on there. Y'all know I was gonna get it. They put Ocarina of Time.
The fact that they threw that on it, and I got kids, man. My daughter loves. She is a Zelda head after Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean? Like that is her game. So to go back and be like, all right, now let's play this old stuff. I won't take you to the 2D. You're not ready for that yet.
No, I'm not ready for that.
That's before your time. You ain't ready for that Link to the Past, bro.
and some of them games was not like some of them 2D Zelda games was not for.
No, Zelda 2 is not for kids.
No,
and you just I'm gonna watch my uncle die in front of me.
Yeah, Link to the Past, like they start off with a death. Like, jeez, dude.
You know what? In my defense, I thought my man was sleeping. I thought he was asleep. I thought he was knocked out.
No, he was leaking. He was not good.
They killed him in a sewer.
Yeah.
So there wasn't no way he was gonna get no help.
They left him to rot.
I was like, "Jeez, dude, y'all are not tripping." But I understand people's complaints about it, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, is it really that bad? And when you actually do an actual breakdown, to be completely fair, when you actually do an actual breakdown, it ain't that much more than what they're saying. People just saw that it was an increase and got mad.
Yeah, I'm like, but you don't have to buy it though.
Yeah, you don't
can still
have
pay
to.
the dub.
Yeah,
and you're good,
and you'll be fine. And I understand that because for me, I was like, it's not a problem for me. That's just not a problem.
Shameless plug. I did a long video on it.
Yeah,
probably check it out.
I really should. Yeah, I really should. It's actually pretty good. Hold on, we got a question from Dark Void. Do you think Resident Evil 2 will come to the expansion pack? I hope it does. The N64
I think so because that cartridge is expensive. So yeah, I think it should. And
on top of that, as much flack as people give that game, it works so well with that N64 controller.
Good.
Yeah, it was so good with that N64 controller. I have never felt so satisfied in blowing an alligator's head off as I did with that N64 controller. Shotgun blast with
I feel like almost every game would I would like for every game, but with the exception, I don't know how they would do it, is probably Killer Instinct Gold. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of
that's probably
a gray area, especially with the whole Tusk theme song. I don't know. I feel like a lot of those. We should get a decent amount of games for the 64 at least.
So that's the thing. Like the lads they own their own chance, I guess. So you won't be able to get.
Well, I think
touch things on.
with Nintendo and Microsoft being chummy, I don't see like the rare stuff being an issue. I don't see the rare stuff being an issue. The only thing though I will say is I don't know why they didn't let Nintendo get Killer Instinct 1 on the Super NES one.
Yeah, they should have put the Super NES out, Killer Instinct Gold as well. And at this point, man, just unlock Jet Force Gemini. Take it out of prison.
Yeah. If you're not going, in the words of our good buddy, if you're not going to use it, just give it back to them.
Yeah.
If you ain't going to use it, because it's clear, y'all. To me, it's clear they're not going to use it. Because you would think that at least Jet Force Gemini with Microsoft, they could have made that a franchise that they could actually market to a younger audience and make it work.
I'm at the point that they just re-release Rare Replay. They probably make a killing off of that too. Just put it on Switch. They'll probably make a killing.
And let us use these.
Yep.
The real ones.
Yeah. So or the real ones don't matter to me because here's the thing. This is how I knew people were lying when they were talking about the expansion pack because these were sold out within like 24 hours.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's how I knew you were lying.
Ain't getting that no time soon.
Yeah. And I was only able to get one. The limit 4 on the Nintendo homepage. I was only able to get one.
You got me over here hacking the HID chain because I got to use the old school over here and connect that to USB and then force the Switch to see that. Like it's
So that's what I'm saying. I'm like I would love for them to do that. And hopefully we will because like I said, they have a relationship and it's amicable from what I understand. They like working with each other. So I don't understand why they won't. To be clear, it's not like Microsoft ain't gonna get no money off of it. They're getting money off Cuphead. They're getting money off Minecraft. You think they ain't gonna skim off top? Come on, man. It's Microsoft.
Oh yeah. Trinell said Mischief Maker is on expansion pack. I see that happening because Nintendo still has a good relationship with Trader.
Yeah, so and I gotta go through Sin and Punishment. Yes. The first one. I do. Castlevania 64. You know what? I want to play that too. I never got a chance to play it originally.
That game is hard. That game is hard.
Yeah, but I never got a chance to play it, but I actually want to try it out. So I would love to see that too. What are the chances we get Space Station Silicon Valley on expansion pass?
That might be. It's likely now because of the GTA re-release.
But who got the license though?
Isn't it still DMA Designs? Because Nintendo published it.
Oh, okay, all right.
But that was who would be Rockstar, I guess.
Yeah.
At this point, so Rockstar North. So I guess
hopefully they still have it. Well,
yeah, I guess
that's one of the things I will say. This like Phil Spencer said this about a month ago. Like the main issue with game preservation is nobody knows what all these licenses are because of what happened between the 6th and 7th gen. When the 7th gen happened and we went to HD, a lot of these companies,
all the B teams died.
Under. Yeah, and when they went under, their license went in limbo. So because if you don't renew it, it just poofs.
And I think that's crazy because Microsoft did XBLA, and it's like those studios didn't have to die. They could have kept farming out the type of games that they were making and published them on Xbox Live Arcade, or they could have been online only games. It didn't have to. It didn't have to die like that, or they could have transitioned to Wii. Like it
didn't have to die like that, but I think some of them did go to Wii, but they tried to go to HD, but those games started costing too much.
Yeah.
Like I've always said this, and I still stand by it. There is no way a video game budget should be as high as a blockbuster movie.
No
reason way. For that. No reason for that. Because once again, there's way more movie fans than there are gaming fans. Nobody's paying $60 for one ticket. Now you might go. Now if you go on a date, you might spend $100 if you go on a date to the theater. But that's two people. You're not
watching in 3D. That's what $11 maybe.
Yeah, that's $11 maybe. And if you go to IMAX, I don't know what to tell you. But
at least a dub for one person.
But the thing is, you're not spending $60 for one ticket. That's the thing. So I've always said that it should not be like that. And that's what happened, and so a lot of them died. And then, like I said, Phil Spencer confirmed what I thought, and it was like, yeah, a lot of these lights they don't know where they're at.
Yeah,
So
they're all over the place.
Yeah, and so Microsoft has hit their limit with backward compatibility because they don't know where some of these lights at, and they can't find them. So yeah, game preservation should be a thing that's talked about in the gaming community, but the problem was what Iwata said it was going to be.
Yep.
And nobody wanted to listen when he said it. So
Yep.
And that's kind of why he believes so much in hardware backwards compatibility at that point in time too, because you don't have
nobody else. Which is funny because the entirety of the Western gaming journalism tried to downplay it.
Yeah.
Oh, they were downplaying it heavy.
Now that's all they talk about.
Don't want to play old games.
Yeah. Now they want to downplay if you don't have it.
Yeah. I'm like, make up your mind. So before we get out of here, there's two more things I want to talk about. What game are you most looking forward to in 2022? Sandstorm.
You gotta put it down to one game? Like that's impossible. Like
I mean whatever game or games you're looking forward to.
Everything.
Okay.
Arceus, Kirby, Bayonetta, Zelda, Splatoon, everything. Forspoken. That game better come right.
Forspoken, boy. Forspoken, they better not be playing about that.
It looks like it has that jank though. It looks like it's still there, so we'll see how that goes.
We'll see, but
don't mess up my black protagonist. That's all I'm saying.
That's all. Yeah, that's all, man.
If you don't mess up anything, mess up the rest of the world. Don't mess up. Make everything else right.
I mean, you always got Watch Dogs 2, so we can.
No, we don't. We don't talk about that game. We won't talk about that.
Watch Dogs 2 don't exist, time.
Yeah, they don't.
It hurts so bad.
There's so many games, man. 2022 is gonna be a bomb year. I feel like just gaming in general. They're supposed to God of War is supposed to
do something.
I don't know if he's going to make it. We'll see.
I don't know if it's going to drop, but they're supposed to. This rumor that they're supposed to have their trailer or something this year, sometime at some point.
We even got like the what's the game that we're supposed to keep our eyes on? I feel like I do this every time. The one with the kids that in the city, and they're singing out, but they got powers at the same time.
Oh, the Diva game, the game from
the one with the E. Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about from E3 last year.
But that like games like that looks like a breath of fresh air. Like as far as colorful, looks like a magical game, something I can really get into, man. There's so many games, and my wallet is not stacked enough. I did not do a raise this year, so it's trouble, man. This year is gonna be trouble.
It is. All right, Shadow, what about you?
Man, everything. But the usual stuff. Obviously I want to see what improvements they actually do to kill invisible walls in Horizon Forbidden West. So that'll be great because you can swim underwater. That's cool. But invisible walls, are they gone? Please, we have all this horsepower.
Underwater wall.
Yeah, I don't want an underwater wall. We have all this horsepower. There should not be any barriers to do anything. Obviously the most anticipated, if it's going to happen, is going to be Zelda.
It's happening because there's no way in the world they're not gonna. That's coming out this year.
Yeah,
Bayonetta clearly coming out this year.
Like I'm slick. I'm slick hoping there's another Astral Chain too. I like just stealth drop that piece. Like, man, just stealth drop it. Make it a bonus game for Bayonetta 3, like something.
I got a feeling that's gonna happen. It's gonna be like some kind of something.
The dog is in the game.
Yeah, the dog's in the game. The dog is in the game, and I wouldn't be surprised. What's the girl that's in the suit? Marie.
Yeah, Marie.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised she's in it.
Yeah, she might as well be, because in Bayonetta, she would fit in that world. She would fit in that world.
She would fit in that role if you remember that character from Astral Chain. I love that game, by the way.
Yeah. So we got that. All the promised games from the other two systems are going to be coming, I guess. What is the sequel to Sekiro, and then What's the other game? Hellblade. I
Hellblade's
think
supposed to
that's
be
gonna
coming.
come this year.
It's supposed to. It's supposed to.
So
Matter of fact, let me.
the rest of expansion pass, you know.
Oh yeah, Banjo Kazooie this month.
Yeah,
That's what-
Yeah,
Banjo
Banjo
Kazooie.
Kazooie is, and for our good friend Vicky for Fangirl Review, Sons of the Forest.
Well, yeah, because you gotta have it.
Yeah.
You gotta get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And King of Fighters next month. King of Fighters 15. King of Fighters 15 looking good. Look like Masahiro Sakurai's best outdoing of people's character models have influenced another company.
It happens. It happens. That guy knows how to design characters. So
shout out to the Smash team for making character models look better than they regular game.
I mean, I almost say they did for Pyra and Mithra too.
They did for Power. They did. Like
it's like they look different, but still great. Like
Pyra and Mithra, Link, Zelda, they look better than they in game. I'm like, bruh. Like I understand the the whole third party stuff, but y'all making these look better than the first party stuff. I'm like,
Banjo Kazooie. Shout out to
yeah. So
Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
that's so crazy. And so obviously we can't go nowhere with Smash Bros anymore.
Now we got to do a whole long refresh. We got to do a refresh.
So that we got to go back to the drawing board from that. So and then we got the Mario Kart rumors and all the other kind of foolishness.
Keep your switches, people. You might want to keep your switch because that Smash Bros Ultimate probably gonna be the last one that's gonna be like that for a while.
Yeah, because they're probably gonna do the full reboot and it's gonna be dedicated. It's gonna be new gameplay style, and they'll probably have less characters in it, and people are gonna have complaints.
They're gonna bitch about it. Yeah,
they'll deal with it, but they'll still buy it like normal. So
yeah, they'll make it'll be 3,000 videos about it out, and then it's gonna be everybody playing online.
Yep, every last one of them.
Yeah,
you're like, I hate this game. You shouldn't buy this. Blah 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 blah. And then I see you online.
Yeah,
they won't say it one time. They'll just.
And then when you bring it up, man, I don't know what you're talking about. And then the next time you go to their channel, all those videos mysteriously disappear.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute, but that video had 300,000 views. Yeah, it's going now.
I want y'all to find a channel as well. There's a YouTube channel that is nothing but people dooming and glooming Switch early on with the same takes from Wii U. It's a playlist. I'll share it to y'all after this stream, but it's a playlist full of YouTube videos using all the tropes they use to bash Wii U on Switch, and it's amazing to see, especially with 5 years retrospect.
Yeah. Right. All right, so what I'm actually looking forward to is it's really Breath of the Wild, and the reason why I'm looking forward to it, y'all know I like Breath of the Wild, but it is not my favorite Zelda game, and I do want the return of dungeons. I like the idea of the shrines. I just thought that toward the end of that game, it just got to be busy work, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit.
They're dungeons. I believe they're dungeons.
Yeah, so I do want the dungeons to come back, and I do want to see what they do with this story because, and Shadow, I've said this 100 times. I don't think Ganondorf's the bad guy anymore. I think it's Demise.
It's just Demise.
And I think the reason why they did Skyward Sword and not Ocarina and not Wind Waker and not Twilight Princess was because Demise is going to make a return in Breath of the Wild too. And I think Ganondorf up under that castle is the red herring. He's there, but he's not the bad guy. He probably tried to stop it and he couldn't.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking has happened, and I'm hoping that they go that route because Demise is too good of a character to only have him one time. Too good. He was too good of a character. So plus that he is intimidating. Now, if they would have put him in Soul Calibur, I would understand.
I would love
Girahim as well. So that's a whole nother.
I would love to see him in a real fight versus
Nightmare.
Nightmare, Siegfried, any of them.
Yeah.
But that hand, just grab him, just by the back of the head. You know who you are messing with.
Demise for Smash.
Yeah.
Demise for Smash.
Well, I said that when they was doing when they did the first trailer for Ultimate, I'm like, Demise, come on, like Demise. I'm like, either Demise or Super Saiyan 3 Ganon. All my Hyrule Warriors fans know exactly what I'm talking about. Super Saiyan 3 Gaiden.
Boy, it's all bad.
They
Just
did,
hell
man.
everywhere.
Look, man, it's bad when you have like the Thor from the MCU, and they did the same meme with Ganon when it had the L'Oreal thing.
Oh my god.
I love that meme. But yeah, the Master Smash, Ravenbeak Smash, yeah.
I think the thing about Breath of the Wild too, though, real quickly, is that like the story is one thing. Like I think that's what we kind of love about the most is the story and how Nintendo makes all these games so dark, but on the whole of it, like so accessible to everybody, and they just think it's always jolly and goodness. You know, Princess got lost, go save them, and all this other stuff. But I think the real big thing is for me and the excitement of Breath of the Wild 2 is that Breath of the Wild was just so well done, you know what I mean? And you take the same world and it's like, okay, now everything that we had in this game, let's let's triple that. Let's just put it on steroids. And like I think Shadow, I think you said this a while ago, is like people are still on a daily finding new things out about this game
every day.
And the fact that we have another one coming, like how long is it going to be until somebody like officially finds almost everything that you could do in these games? And it's just like
I was done with Breath of the Wild when I saw the entire tribute to Iwata, because I'm just like, hey, they got this unicorn running around with a beard. That's cool, because you see the little bunnies and you're like, what are these little? And you see the bunnies at the beginning of the game. You're like, hey, that's a weird little outtake. What's happening there? And it trails off to nowhere, and you don't know what happened, right? Then you eventually find out, hey, they're all from this one little area, and then you go there and you see all these ghosts, and it's the Lord of the Mountain, that you're able to capture the Lord of the Mountain or whatever, and then you go back again and then you realize all the animals, the wild animals that you find in the game, they all go there, and they all go there to pay homage to him. The whole part of that mountain is him, and like that's a whole tribute to game development. The whole thing. There's items that don't exist anywhere in the game but there, like. All of that is just amazing to me. And they were just like, we really love this dude. We're dedicating all this to him.
And there is a character that looks like him in the game. There is a character that looks exactly like him.
And this is all stuff people are finding out like a year after the game, 2 years after the game came out. And then they find out more stuff. Like like a tablet inside of a tomb that you can only get into later on in the game. Like you have to like either cheat or have enough stamina to climb all the way up this one part of this wall. Like they put stuff everywhere in that game, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I booted up like a couple weeks ago just because I'm not gonna lie. I like going through the world just because it's relaxing. To be honest. And I ran into some stuff. I thought I had been all over the map. I ran into some stuff I have not been into yet because I had a chest that I had never opened. I'm like, the hell.
I've yet to encounter a bear. I've yet to.
I've done the bear thing. I haven't. I have not rode a bear. I can't ride him. He always knocks me off. I got to figure out how to do it.
I've been on every animal but the bear, and I haven't met the bear yet.
That's where it's at right there, right?
Yeah, the bear's fun. I've met him. I haven't been able to ride him yet.
You just gotta fly down and you just gotta hope for the best.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But yeah, that game is the one that I'm most looking forward to, simply because I want to see what they do. Because we already know the world. We've already been through it. So what are you adding to it outside of the stuff that clearly is going to be? Is it going to be going back and forth in time or playing? Because I think the link that we saw in there is the link from Skyward Sword when they fell to Hyrule and stayed there.
Now, if they add both of those, like if that's just the seamless world, the Skylop area and the ground area, I don't want to hear a single person in this world talking about how Switch is not capable. Like that.
First of all, you don't understand this true power of Unreal Engine 5 and the glory of ray tracing.
And the two are at odds with each other, by the way. Unreal Engine 5 does not want ray tracing because they want you to use their lighting engine. It's amazing. These two consoles that focus on hardware ray tracing, and then you got a whole engine out here that says, no, don't use that.
Basically, but you're gonna hear it and I'm gonna laugh. You're gonna hear it and I'm just gonna laugh. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I can't wait to hear how it can't control to the true power of the Unreal Engine 5.
Oh god, just
this game will look so much better in 8K with realistic graphics.
So let's put it this way: you got Breath of the Wild 2, right?
Yep.
You have still, as of yet, Untitled RPG from Monolith. And if that's being held
it's
back,
Xenoblade 3. It's Xenoblade 3.
We don't even know the title yet, right?
It's Xenoblade 3.
It's probably Xenoblade 3, but they also work on the world environment for Breath of the Wild, and obviously they're going to work on it for Breath of the Wild too. So it's going to be bigger. It's not going to be smaller. It's going to be bigger. Why else would they delay it to high?
Because that was the funny thing about it. Because remember a couple years back they kept hiring people at Monolith. I'm like, why does Monolith have 400 employees?
Yep.
Like they don't need. But yeah, have a certain number of them was working not only on Xenoblade but on Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why they had that many people. I still don't understand why they hired so many people at Retro.
Man, how can Monolith make something bigger than a whole world? Like you gave us continents. Like what else?
I mean,
what else do you need to give us?
They're like, look, we have more than 1 gig of RAM, sir. So what we're gonna do is do more this Xenoblade Chronicles X. Okay.
I mean, that's basically what they're gonna do. If they found a way to do all that on Xenoblade Chronicles X with 1 gig, what you think they finna, bruh? And people don't understand. You could go everywhere in that game without an invisible wall.
No invisible wall.
Which is why Aonuma brought them in on Breath of the Wild. He's like, that's what I want to do in Hyrule. It makes sense. So
wait. So Xenoblade 2 was off the engine of X and the original Xenoblade, right?
It's kind of an experimentation. So X is them doing the Wii engine in HD and seeing how far they could push it. But technically, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is what the Wii U engine would have been, but now you got a power envelope. So now you got to work within certain specifications as far as like how good will this look on handheld mode without draining the battery. Right. So
which they mastered that.
Yeah, that's where the resolution scaling started coming in because they mastered that in Torna. So Torna, I think, probably shows what some of the potential could be as far as like draw distance and obviously character models. It's just ridiculous off the chain in some of those cutscenes. But clearly,
you think the Torna engine is going to be the engine going forward?
I think so. It's way cleaner. So I think that's what they'll use. But in addition to that too, just based on what they were able to do with Breath of the Wild as a whole, I just imagine it's still limited because Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game.
Right, it is.
So
Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be their first Switch.
The Breath of the Wild was designed around having only 1 gig of RAM.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And using the gamepad, which is why that Sheikah Slate looks like a gamepad. Kind of.
Right.
So just imagine from there that they could do more. Yeah. So and the Switch has a superior CPU to even the older consoles per core, so they can do more with less. So it's just one of those things.
Shadow, I don't know why you're saying that it cannot control with the true power of 8K and Unreal Engine 5. It is not. It is not.
But if you don't render in 8K, you could do more stuff. It's great. Like
I don't care. 16K, 3085 frames a second. All right, that's the standard. Okay.
I'm just imagining now if you didn't have to do rasterization right now and your target was 480p and you had an Xbox One, how realistic the game would look. It's just as soon as you get to the horsepower that could possibly do it, like hey, look, we're just going to do ray tracing. There's no There's no picking and choosing. We're not rasterizing when it's all done, and you're pre-calculating ray tracing and then rasterizing. No, we're doing nothing but ray tracing all real time. We're doing it in 480p, and this is the hardware you have to work with. It would just be amazing just to see it. But we can never get there because we're always chasing other resolutions and other buzzwords. So it's just one of those things, man. It's sad, and then you try to have a technical conversation with somebody about it, and they're like, "But I only know those buzzwords."
That's all they know.
So it hurts. But what could have been? But
I mean, like I said, I've said this before, and I say it again. If you go back and watch, what is it, GDC 2005 when Iwata made that speech?
Yep.
He told you couldn't sustain the model. Nobody wanted to listen to him.
Law of diminishing returns, man. You can only get so much out.
Them. And on top of that, like they didn't max out the 6th gen. But you had developers saying we need more power for our vision. And I'm like, you say that every time. We're just now getting 60 frames a second as a standard when it was promised back in the 7th gen.
Yep. 6th gen is as good as we're gonna get, I think, as far as reaching potential, because the resolution was 480p.
Yeah, and I'm talking about equality across the board for everybody.
Yes, for every system as well, because
it was across the board. It just depended on what
controller you want to do.
Yeah, how you worked with that system. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no. It's hilarious to me. Soul Calibur 2 sells the best on GameCube, and Nintendo doesn't get another Soul Calibur game except Legend. They use that as the excuse to not put another one on there, when you know good and damn well if you do another Soul Calibur, you put Link and Ganondorf on there, that thing's going to sell more than what the competition is. Meanwhile, I got Soul Calibur 6, and I'm looking at this game like, this is your pinnacle, this your king, this your king.
Hey, at least they gave us Pokken. I mean, they ain't
there's Pokken.
Yeah, but that's why I would love for Sakurai to like. Let Sakurai do a Soul Calibur game. Let me see what happened with it. I bet it make more than what Namco them did.
And that's crazy because he used Namco to make the last couple of games. That's hilarious. Right. He's like, I'll take their staff, do this, do that, do this. Look, it's a masterpiece now. See how it works?
Yeah. Jeez. But okay, because we kind of run up on an hour and a half. Y'all know I don't like to go too long with these. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna cut it here. Next week we'll be back on our regular numbered episodes. Because next week we got to talk about the stuff that we don't want to talk about, NFTs.
Oh, this week is just
Square Enix, man. What y'all doing?
One giant face palm.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about E3 going digital again, which I don't have a problem with because it makes sense.
They better act right this time. They better get their stuff right and act right this time.
And IGN, stop stealing folks stuff. And
get your stuff right.
Yeah. So that's going to be on tap for next week, and any other thing that happens, because God knows we always get something. So Sandstorm, anything you want to pimp out?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad I'm on the channel today because we are starting back up. My channel starting is this Sunday? Yeah, we're starting this week. We are going to try and have a consistent schedule. I'm thinking Wednesday I will be doing videos, and then on Saturday we will have a little bit of live time, live streaming, talking with you guys. I haven't decided on what time that will be specifically. It'll probably be closer to noon or something like that. As well, we are still doing our Warframe gaming. Jay and I getting into it. We're trying to get the story down because there's so much going on in that game. But
we are late to the party. We are late to the party.
Really late. I mean, there's so many messages. You just kind of hit delete because you don't even. You just like it's too much for me. But
it's been so long since I played that game.
Then you definitely don't want to look at them because your list is probably really long, man.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. We are nearing 300, so I think we are 13 subscribers shy. So if you are on this channel, if you are new on this channel, go ahead and check out that channel as well. Show me a little love because we all mix in together. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and I'm making a beat, so expect that Boba Fett beat. Yeah.
All right, cool. Shadow.
Yeah, I'll actually be doing a Shadowcast Wednesday. So Wednesday around 7ish. Stay tuned, and I actually even have a topic ahead of time, so it won't be a traditional Shadowcast where it's just you don't know until it starts. This one is specifically about console generations. It's gonna be a large class. So yeah, gather your
some
milk and
popcorn.
cookies. Yeah,
I
gather
gotta
your
get
milk
some
and cookies.
popcorn.
We're gonna go through it all. We're gonna go through all the little back and forths that people use, all the excuses people use. You know, the Atari, I guess the 5800, they use that as an excuse a lot.
Oh,
So
yes,
we'll go through a bunch of those things so we can hash this out. I'm probably not gonna put the Wikipedia back and forth on there because that's a whole rat hole in itself. That will probably be a whole podcast just going through that, showing how they decided, hey, we're gonna change what the generations are now. We don't want this thing to be in there, so we'll change the rules.
That doesn't work.
So, but it'll definitely be hopefully an educational one. I'll definitely be talking my most about that particular topic more than I ever did on any of my other videos. So check that one out. If you guys hop on, it'd be great. And yeah, we'll be doing it. Bring a buddy, bring a beer, and we'll be there. And yeah, sub to this channel for sure. If you want to see me on this podcast and on Channelcast on Wednesdays. So that's it.
Okay, so Sundays at 10 a.m. me and Vicky do our reviews, our fresh takes on stuff. Please stop by for those. Right now we're in the book of Boba Fett, so we had an episode review this morning. So please check those out. Next week I am planning to do some of my favorite indie games. So I'm gonna be streaming an indie game a day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I will be streaming, live streaming some of my favorite indie games. You'll find out when I go live. I plan on going live around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. So just be on the lookout for that. As well, I am trying to grow my gaming channel and this channel as well. I'm also going to be on Switch as well as Facebook gaming. So please stop by when you have a chance. You can click on the links. They're somewhere on YouTube. Y'all, let's see them. So if you want to join, the Facebook group is private for a reason. I don't want to get spammed out. I learned my lesson when I had the Google community, and yeah, you can't leave these public for too long because people will bring all their freakiness in there. I can't be having all that ungodly trouble coming into the group. So if you do want to join the Facebook group, we do have a group. I will have to okay it and everything like that, but yeah, it is set to private. But what else was I gonna say? I forgot my train of thought. But subscribe to everybody on the podcast, please, and to this channel. I'm trying to actually be a little bit serious about it and grow it. Gonna be trying to do a couple of different things this year, get some more guests coming through. So be on the lookout in the coming months because we're going to be on our road to 100, episode 100, and hopefully we'll have Jack and the Game Idea guy Andre back next week. So see you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What alibi?
Okay.
I don't understand this. Okay. Jay, I'm pretty sure Sandstorm is doing it now too. I'm noticing this difference, right? Why are people subbing and they're watching the podcast, but whenever you stream a game, the views don't be up? I streamed me finally beating Breath of the Wild, and I was able to get half a K. And there's zero reason for that. So like I don't understand like how I can stream a game not knowing what I'm doing because I ain't played it in like 2 years, and I'm able to get those views, and then you guys are playing through games like crazy, and for whatever reason they don't want to watch those. They just want to watch us yell and cuss about what game is better for whatever reason. Dude. I'm like they're playing through these games too. It shouldn't just be me running through a game and then you just want to see me fool around. Like
I mean, well, like I said, Saturdays I'm gonna try to have like games where I play with y'all or people from the community or whatever. So we'll live stream that. Me and Shadow had a versus going last weekend. So
yeah, until I tried to run the entire stream on my phone, which was probably
please don't ever do that again. But yeah, we had like Kill Instinct, and you know what? We may do Mario Kart or Smash on Saturday. So if you want to stop by for to watch us probably make up new cuss words in Mario Kart, or talk about various barbecue in Smash like we used to do during the review days. Stop by Saturday. Look, our conversations do not make any sense when we're gaming. They really don't.
Playing Smash Bros. We talking about ribs, like it's just what it is.
It doesn't make sense.
That's what it is.
You're not going to look if you watch it, you watch it. If you play with us, you understand already. All right. So if y'all want Smash, let us know. All right, and we'll see you guys next week. So peace out.
Later, guys.
Peace.